Welcome everyone in to the virtual Old Daytona, where tonight these drivers 30 plus will take to the high banks with a bumpy surface like back in the day in the Gen-4 Cup car. We're looking forward to this one. You see on your screen right there, the race flyer here tonight. Gonna have short of the 40 max entries, but nonetheless a pretty good field for this combination here tonight for 60 laps of action here at Daytona International Speedway. I'll be your host here tonight, Michael Triscaro of PGR eSports, and Matthew Baker will also be on the call with me tonight as we are high above the Speedway. And man, this is going to be a great field here tonight. We'll get that qualifying order up for you right now, and man, it's going to be the guy with all the bad luck of late, John Ellis, on the pole. And running second here, outside front row, will be Wyatt Gray. Starting third tonight will be Kyler Wynn. Starting fourth, Malik Ray. Starting fifth, Garrett Maines. Trevin Astronaut will start in sixth. Michael Guest starts in seventh. Evan Carlbon, eighth. Dylan Basin starts in ninth tonight. And Jeff Merck will start P10.
In 11th spot, you got John Ward, Sean Corbett, 12th. Jared Haynes in 13th. For the Jack Shack, Matthew Patton in 14th, Jackson Buys in 15th, Ethan Neckert 16th, Danny Falkingham 17th, 18th, going to be Nathan Harper, and in 19th, you got Josh Cruz, Dylan Jones running out your top 20.
Yeah, 21st will be Cody Rogers. Nash Brambilla starts 22nd. Mark Rogers starts in 23rd tonight. Josh McCullough, 24th. Tyler Vickery, 25th. Brock Westmoreland starts 26th. Starting 27th, Tucker McClendon. Kenny McCullough Jr. starts 28th. Mark Von Dell starts in 29th. And Freddie Bazinez will round out your 30-car field. They're on the grid right now. We'll take a quick pause here, just try to get everything up and running. Sometimes we get a little bit messed up here with the SDK, but we'll be right back here live on the PGR Esports Network. Back here live at Daytona. Some technical difficulties set us back, but we're going to be able to bring you the green flag here tonight. Man, it's a cool sight up here, Baker, as these cars get set to go green. The old paint scheme's out. The old Daytona, bumpy Daytona. Man, what do you expect here tonight as this pace car heads off into pit lane?
I think it's going to be a pros pro kind of race as they enter the restart zone. Not painted here. Is the green flag going to fly here from Old Daytona in the Gen-4 car?
Lap number 1 in the books. Wyatt Gray, the number 18 Interstate Battery Chevrolet out here in front. Ooh, we got a wreck. One into the wall. I think they're going to blink out. They're going to ride that wall here into turn number 1. Will stay green. It looks like a one-car incident there. Jeff Merck
possibly. They had some checking out towards the back as well. Sorry, he had to throw the caution there as he came back down the track.
Caution out for the first time here tonight. Baker will go take a peek at that, but we'll also go take a peek at that as well. And there's the 60. Man, upside down. Not sure what happened here. And we'll get a good look here with the 74. And we'll, excuse me, tonight we're going to probably make a little bit of mistakes here with the driver names and numbers. A lot of stuff not going to match up here. And nameplates not on the back of these cars. But here's the 60, Jeff Merck, as he's entering turn number 1 out of Punta Gorda, Florida. 74 car just underneath him. And it looks like, yeah, some net code there. Oh, yeah, bad net code. So technology issues for the 60. And you see him blink out there on your screen as well now. And he's going to come back into the picture. He's going to be riding that outside wall there. And what a ride it was for Jeff Merck. An unfortunate issue there with how that all worked out. But I think, fortunately, no one else. There's him riding from the cockpit. That's a cool view right there. But looks like no one else was involved. So one-car incident right here for netcode. And Jeff Merck is going to most likely, I think, be out of this race. We'll find out if he's got too much damage. He's going to do some tumbles here at the end. So a 10 for style points there for the number 60 tonight.
Yeah, unfortunate for him with that really, really bad net code. But it's a product of the three-wide racing, really. Got to settle in here for 60 laps. We're only 3 laps in here, about to be 4 laps.
100% fuel here tonight, if you saw on the flyer. So fuel not going to be an issue here, I don't believe, early on. You'll probably see most of these drivers staying on the track. They do. We'll have some takers, though, down pit lane, led by Kyler.
Split field here.
Here, the number 82, Home Depot Monte Carlo. Remnants of Tony Stewart's old paint scheme. And that 74 car that net-coded with Jeff Merck, that was Evan Carlbond, as you see him come down into his pit stall. And one of my favorite paint schemes out here at Baker, the 32, Daniel Falkingham in that Tide Monte Carlo.
Yeah, it's such a good one. Ricky Craven, 32, battled with Kurt Busch at the line at Darlington, one of the best finishes that you'll ever see in racing.
Excuse me, quite a few takers here early on. Josh McCullough in his box as well. And Jeff Merck, he's sitting here on pit lane, trying to fix some damage. We'll see if he can somehow get back into this race, but we'll go back here live up front, and it'll be Wyatt Gray who'll lead us down to the green. We'll stay under the yellow flag. This is the backstretch here at Daytona. Old Daytona has some grandstands still out there. A little bit different than current time Daytona, but Malik Gray here in second. Trevor Ashford, the number 89 in third. John Ellis in fourth, looking for some better luck. And if you didn't get to see the qualifying results earlier, we'll try to bring them up on the screen for you real quick. John Ward here in tonight's race in the 92. Outside him right now, it's Garrett Maines, the number 1. Matthew Patton. Cool paint scheme right there, the Coors Light. A little bit of a throwback night here in PGR. There's the old 48 Jimmy Johnson Lowe's Chevrolet, driven by Dylan Basin here tonight. You got Ryan Newman's old paint scheme up here in the number 12. But the pace car lights out. We will go green here next time by.
And you saw there early in the run, the cars were already getting pretty wicked loose. So track temp mixed with worn out surface in this car, especially with the really high sway bar on the right front, you're going to see them really get all out of sorts on the rear of the car. But loose is fast here at Daytona. If you're able to really pen it up on the high side and keep those rear tires under you, you're able to get around here at a very, very fast pace. And you'll see some of these guys start to push towards the front. I think you're going to see a little bit of tire saving from some of these guys.
See the weather here in Daytona. 80-degree ambient, but about a 98-degree track temp. We are partly cloudy skies. There's a couple clouds up there, but a real hot track temp. We'll really looking forward to seeing maybe a long green flag run and handling really come into play here tonight versus the normal Daytona. And looks like we're going to get going green here this time by with Wyatt Gray, Malik Ray. And we'll try to do this again here. So we come to lap number 6. The pace car are going to dive off onto pit lane once again. And the 18 and 1, you won't see a restart zone here. And they are off and running.
Good jump up to the high side. It's going to pull on Malik Ray and John Ellis Jr. They're going to split out 3 wide a little bit further back. And the old 22 Keselowski scheme there in the middle. That's the basin. Oh, sorry, he's in the 48 Jimmy Johnson scheme. But 3 wide towards the middle of the pack, it's all going to stack up at a turn 2. You got to get the revs up. If there's restrictor plate on this car, you know, the truck, Xfinity, Next Gen, they all get up to speed pretty easy now because you have tapered spacers rather than restrictor plates now. So you really can tell how long it takes to get this car wound up and ready to fire off. And it's a lot of fun to watch to see how people build their runs up on the first couple of laps. And everyone managing 2x2 here. The top 5 all clear on the top side.
Riding here with Michael Guest in the 27. As he's looking for another PGR victory. He has ran a lot of the PGR events this year here in 2025. And he's done some damage. As he is definitely not only has won a lot of races, taken a lot of podiums this year, and Michael Guest, definitely a threat here tonight, as is this guy right here, fighting that middle lane, and you can see his wheel moving a lot. The handling already an issue here over these bumps for Freddie Bazinas tonight out of Miami, Florida, as he works behind Mark Vondell. So some different strategies here tonight, as Baker alluded to. Some guys trying to save a little bit of tire here out back, and Kyler Wynn one of them, as he is working here in the back of the pack right now. But long way to go here. These cars bouncing all over the racetrack.
In that high line, you know, I don't know the best approach to 17. I've never raced this car. The car came out while I was deployed, so I've never seen this car in action. This is our first time having it in PGR. A lot of skepticism coming to it. We're glad we could get 30 cars, 30 of the best super speedway drivers you could ask for to come out here and test it out. And it's all single file high line train right now. They're keeping the RPMs up. I think it's really important to keep the RPMs up in this car, like we talked about with the restrictor plate. And they're doing a great job here up front, managing early. But you know, how much does it wear on the tires there on the top line? Doesn't look like there's much movement out of the wheel on the top side. It looks like a pretty even line. You're just going around the very top side, which is just more travel, which means more tire wear. But on the bottom, are they getting loose up the track? Are they able to diamond it off and maybe come up half a lane, you know, maybe a full lane to the middle to let the tires, you know, cool down and let the car rotate itself as the train just keeps going on the top?
top lane definitely preferred at the moment. One guy still making that bottom work, John Ward, number 92. So he's got Tyler Vickery behind him, but you can see how far back that lane currently is. We're going to get up in the Goodyear blimp here, and that'll give you a good vantage point. It'll be about, say, 6, 7, 8 cars until you get to that low line there with Ward. As this high line right now has the majority of the cars in this field taking that route. I'm sure we'll see some changes throughout this green flag run. Lap 10 to 60 so far here tonight. If you're just joining us, just one yellow flag came early on in the race. Brock Westmoreland make a move here in the back, get to the 20th position right now. 30 cars on track. A lot of cool paint schemes here from the front all the way to the back.
Ethan Eckert, he's clear. Falkingham trying to get clear on the top line. They are really pushing the issue on the high lane, trying to clear as many cars as possible. In the bottom line, trying, but just no momentum. I think they really need to heed to what I'm saying and enter on the bottom of the track and then let it roll up to the top. And when it rolls up to the top, just like you see the 3 wide happening behind him, it's going to absolutely kill the bottom line here. And they're going to get real squirrely through the tri-oval, but they need to roll all the way through the corner, try and get up, get some side draft, and get back down.
Yeah, you see it there. Kyler Wynn forced the issue in the middle lane as the 82 now is looking to go back up to the front. And yeah, we missed another paint scheme here tonight, the number 5. I believe that's Josh Cruz in that 5 Kellogg's car, and that's one of your favorite paint schemes right there as he is lined up right behind Kyler Wynn, a good guy to follow up through this field. Some unfortunate luck for him the other night in PGR, but he's back out here trying to get back what he had possibly the other night, and that's a payout position. Driver behind him, Brock Westmoreland, and the PGR old school paint scheme. Good to see him running that. Josh Cruz got some teammates, Mark Rogers, Corey Rogers here tonight. They're looking to make some noise. And Brock's going to hit the wall. He spun underneath. We're going to get a yellow flag most likely. As Westmoreland, yep, wrecked back here. I believe he's got right front damage. You can see how bad that is for Brock Westmoreland. As he's going to try to limp that number 4 Chevrolet back to pit lane. And that is going to be a lot of damage. We saw that as it happened. Looks like some more damage there for the Coors Light. That's going to be Matthew Patton. Nope, not Matthew Patton. There's 2 Coors Light cars here tonight. That's going to be Tucker McClendon out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's going to try to limp that Monte Carlo back to pit lane as well. Nash Brambilla catching up to the pack. He's back in 29th. And you see Brock right there. Yep, he is just trying everything he can do. And you can see that front right tire just completely bent. But he's doing a good job, practically on a couple
Probably
wheels.
going to be a night ender there for Brock Westmoreland if I had to guess. Going to pull it down here. Park probably going to say too much damage to fix, and that would be a black flag for him. But yeah, no right front on that car.
Yellow flag number 2 here tonight as Tucker McClendon comes down into pit lane 2. We'll go back here to that replay, try to find out what happened, but it looked like on our screen as we were watching it live that Brock Westmoreland kind of just lost it there. And McClendon, unfortunately, driving up into the matter. As here's Westmoreland here as he enters turn number 1. He's got plenty of room in front of him to the 5 of Cruz here, and we'll see if he hits the wall on entry. He does. He's going to scrape the wall on entry And then he's going to rim ride here. And as soon as he breaks free of that wall, he's going to point down the racetrack. And I believe he's going to give some damage here to the 183 of Mark Rogers, but not too bad for him. And here's the issue is Tucker McClendon's going to come right into it. Mark Vondell is also going to get a chunk as well as he gets right into the side of Westmoreland. So a 4-car incident here. As Brock, unfortunately, most likely will end his night. Most of the cars came to pit lane as you see Wyatt Gray, your winner, off pit road as they funnel into the backstretch behind the pace car here. Michael Guest, Garrett Maines, Daniel Falkingham, and Ethan Eckert, your current top 5. We'll have our first race break here of the night live in the PGR eSports Network. We'll be right back. Back here live at Old Daytona. Wyatt Gray, Michael Guest will lead us to the green flag. It'll be the third restart here of tonight's race as we close in on the 1/3 way here. It's been a lot of Wyatt Gray in the 18 Interstate Batteries Chevrolet here up front. Here comes the number 1, the Wigan Water Technology race car driver, Garrett Maines. And behind him, there on the bottom, Ethan Eckert in the 12. As he makes his way up to the front as well, Daniel Falkingham will start behind Michael Guest. John Ellis here in the top 6, looking to finally break free of all that bad luck. We'll see if John Ellis can continue to stay up front, make some noise here in this race as the pace car heads off onto pit lane again. We're set to go green. The flag man gets that green flag in the air. It's waving out here at Daytona as Gray leads to the start-finish line, and he'll elect to go up a lane to that high lane. Garrett Maines will follow suit. The 27, Michael Guest.
Wow, I can't believe he got clear. I cannot believe Garrett Maines got clear there. I think Guest may have missed a shift. I think he shifted way too late. The RPMs are very low, but this top lane going to absolutely roll now that everyone is up there.
This is Ethan Eckert on board right here, and You could even see here, he's up to over 7,000 RPM, but there's those bumps that you don't really see when we are zoomed out here, but you can see them for sure on their onboard cameras. Bumps all over this racetrack here, even in the front stretch area. And cars just get wound up to speed. 185 miles an hour and approaching 190 here into turn number 1. You really see on the backstretch how fast the cars can go.
I threw about the top 10 to 15 cars on the back, but Daniel Falkingham, he's clear. You got the first 4 cars clear here on the top side. Really okay with just hanging around, hanging upstairs. And I will say it's a good thing about this package is it's very close 3-wide racing, but the great thing about this package is it's very predictable to stay up to the top side to make sure that you stay tucked up to the draft and make sure that you don't lose track position. So it's going to lead to clean racing because people want to stay in line. They want to stay in a good track position because they don't think they can make much progress. So it's leading to very conducive conditions for green flag racing if we can keep it going.
Well, we got someone coming here on the bottom. Number 1 getting pushed by the 22, I believe. Oh, we got a wreck. Big wreck here on the backstretch. 2 off. 2 off. That's Matthew Patton. Caution flies. And man, as we were talking about that, I think it was Malik Ray who was getting a massive run here. Now I would like to see how that was going to play out because I feel like they were starting to figure out the bottom just a little bit, but Matthew Patton involved in a wreck here on the backstretch. I believe Dylan Basin as well. Has some damage to the 40 Monte Carlo of Patton. We'll go back here and watch the replay of this one. And here's Matthew Patton in the middle of your screen, just above John Ward. Ashwinoth comes to his rear bumper. Yeah, he's going to move up the racetrack, and he tries to come back down. So he tried to go up there to that top lane in front of Carl Bond. Not clear. He comes back down, turns himself on the nose of Ashwinoth. And that unfortunately takes out Dylan Basin, who loses his front bumper. And they're off through the grass here, which now at Daytona, I believe, is all pavement. So Matthew Patton, a mistake here on the backstretch. But doesn't look like a ton of damage for him. I believe Dylan Basin gets the worst of it. I want to thank Devin Ray and Thomas Parker tonight for their contributions. Appreciate you guys. And if you're in the chat watching the race here tonight, there's a dollar bill sign. You could show your support for PGR eSports. If you click it, you could send a super sticker or a super chat. Make your message stand out and help support PGR eSports. But under another yellow flag, I'll assume when we get Baker back up here, we'll hear that one will go on the 40 here of Matthew Patton. Wyatt Gray will slide into his box number 2. And he'll go straight out here as soon as he can. He gets some Sunoco Racing fuel. He'll beat Garrett Maines off pit lane. Michael Guest, as well as Malik Ray. We have a few guys staying out, so we'll jumble the order a little bit here on this next restart. Just 21 laps of 60 here. As John Ward will now cycle to P1. bring up the driver of the 23 for PGR eSports, Nash Brambilla, on pit lane at the moment. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Well, we see you here pitting a lot. Tell us what your strategy here is tonight. You have any damage to that Ford, or how do you feel about tonight's race so far?
I don't know how I feel. I got in at the last second. I had to back out manually and fix some things and went a lap down, and then hit it with the lucky dog and didn't get the lucky dog. I'm just trying to survive, I guess. That's the goal, and be there at the end. I got no damage, and I don't know what I'm doing, so let's go.
Well, we're up here watching. Explain to us a little bit of this drafting package. We see a lot of these drivers heading up to that top lane as the run, kind of right away in the run. Is that the preferred lane at the moment? And can you guys make that bottom work at some point?
Yeah, it seems like from watching, maybe the bottom lane might be good for like that first lap. But yeah, I think the side drafting in this car is just too extreme, where you kind of have to ride the top, and it will get aggressive though, as you know, towards the end. So maybe we can get that bottom working. But yeah, as of now, it looks like a top feeder track right now.
We'll let you go here, get geared up for this restart. Nash, good luck here the rest of the night.
Yep, thank you. Have a good broadcast.
Nash Brambilla there, as he makes his way to catch back up with the field, as John Ward will bring us to the green flag for the first time tonight. Carl Bond sits P2, Freddie Bazinez, Sean Corbett, Josh McCullough, your top 5, Kenny McCullough now up to 6. So Baker, some different strategies here could really change this race a little bit.
Yeah, it's all strategy right now. Not really going to be much more than that. I think you're going to see some of the best super speedway racers up front, and it's going to get pretty dicey towards the end of the race, but we're almost to a spot to where we don't have to pit anymore.
With that 100% fuel, this guys most likely, as Baker said, will be able to go the distance here. And well, we're at old Daytona, and we have these old Gen-4 cars out here on the track. I say we go old school NASCAR, crank it up here on the green flag as these drivers coming off turn 4. The 92 of Ward and the 74 of Carl Bond getting ready to bring us back up to speed. And we'll let you guys hear the sights, or see the sights, hear the sounds of these Gen-4s coming to life. John Ward leads us into turn number 3, 25 of 60 in the books. And that'd be cool sound right there as those Gen 4 cars are motoring around Daytona here tonight. Freddie Bazinez, a new player here in the top 5 in the number 5. As Carl Bond holds that 3rd position, Garrett Maines 4th, and 5th right now, Dylan Jones. But paying off for the 92 of John Ward at the moment, a guy that's been on the service for a long time. I'm sure he's had a lot of experience here in this specific car. Or at least the old Gen 4, I should say. But if anything, John Ward obviously has had enough practice in just about any car. And he is out here in the front. Top lane still prevailing here.
You see it's single file all the way for about P9, about P7 actually. Malik Ray, he's going to lead that bottom, try and get the charge going. But it was single file there all the way through the field after they almost wrecked. But the bottom absolutely rolling right now. They got something figured out. You see what happened. Look what I told you. Malik Ray, he sneaks up the track about to the middle line and is able to diamond it back off and get a run. That's what you're going to have to do in this car, and that's a seasoned veteran knowing what the real package is like in real life. Everyone thinks it's boring, but I'm telling you right now, if they know what they're doing, see, Garrett's not wrap, he needs to come up the track. It's not giving him the speed he needs. He needs to come back up, wrap back down to the bottom.
We're getting a really good shot of it here close up as John Ward now to the bottom of the racetrack. I'll tell you what, the guy right now you want behind you, Baker, is the 22 of Jackson Buys. He has, right before that last caution, he was the driver pushing that one Tracker Boat Chevrolet to the front. And he does it again here. Obviously, Garrett Maines, John Ward dropped to the bottom here. Oh, they're going to split Ward. Ward's going to be in the middle. Garrett Maines underneath. There goes Malik Ray, Jackson Buys, and the 27 of Michael Guest. Evan Carlbon sees the run. He comes down. Bazinez leads the top, 2 wide now. And we're seeing some action here in the front of the pack.
Extended all the way up to the middle. Just as soon as they disposed of John Ward, they went right back to doing it again. You see, great job by Evan Carbon leading this race. Evan Carbon doing a great job. Here comes the bottom again. You're going to extend back up, you see, towards halfway to the middle, and then right back down to the bottom. Absolutely flying.
We are hauling the mail here down the backstretch at Daytona. Carl Bond, he is holding off this field of savvy vets at the moment. Bazinez all over his back bumper. The pros here on the bottom trying to drag race here to the start-finish line, the halfway point of this race. And if we could stay green, that's, man, I just want to stay green, Baker. This is some really good racing as these guys are starting to really figure out this car.
I just want to see where the tires go with this car. You know, everyone's been complaining it's not good racing, it's all single file racing, but I don't think anyone's got a good tire run in this car. Got them heated up enough, and I think you got about 10 more laps till you get to see these tires really start to wear down and see where the lines prevail. Is it going to be the top? Is it going to be the bottom? I think the bottom has a better shot because they've been holding a little bit steadier of a line through the bumps.
Well, my vantage point, I'm loving what we're seeing out here. I just saw, we got cars pitting though.
Oh, big pull down for pit road.
I'll get back to my point in a minute. Malik Ray, great entry there. It's, man, almost near 3 or 4 wide. Coming to the pit or entry. There goes Bazinez in line. We'll go back up front with Carl Bond, but I was going to say I was watching the 12 of Ethan Eckert. And in that turn, I mean, you could just see how loose he was getting with nobody touching him. And I think it's something you really got to look at. To me, this is entertaining. This is real old school racing. And I think these drivers get that long green flag run. I think they're going to respect this car combo package a little bit more as this run goes on. And it's really a driver's race tonight. And Carl Bond, will he lead in this next pack? There goes the 32. Yep, they're all going to come on down here. Only a couple stay out. Keep an eye on Garrett Maines here into his pit stall as well. He's usually one of the fastest on and off. Evan Carlbon, your leader, slides his box, has to back up. He's going to lose time. Garrett Maines, as predicted, wins the race off pit lane here. Sean Corbett, Josh McCullough going to be scored your leaders at the moment, but they still need to pit. And here they come. So leaders pitting here. Brambilla farther behind them. He leads a train with Ashronoff, Mark Rogers, and Tyler Vickery. So they'll assume the lead. And we're going to have to wait a little bit to see how this all cycles out.
It's going to cycle pretty fast here. I think that Trevor and them are going to stay all the way out. Oh, Lord, big block, huge block. I mean, my goodness, that could have been a really, really big. And they were able to weave all through it. John Ellis was. And here comes Garrett Maines. He's leading this group with Guest, pushing him out of the way. Freddie Bazines on the bottom, pushing Michael Guest.
Michael Guest coming alive here in the number 27. As he has all year long. Down the backstretch, we go. Corbett to the apron as McCullough. And these guys are...
They're coming off right here. They're trying to stay attached to the pack as well.
It is an odd standings at the moment. You see Brambilla, your leader, coming off turn number 2. Eventually, you would think here, this other pack here is going to eventually take the lead. They're actually near the start-finish line. So a lot to unpack here, with some varying strategies.
Josh McCullough looks like he may have got a speeding penalty. He's going to have to come down pit road this time.
Try to keep everyone in the loop with the action here. Right now, Brambilla, Ashronoff, Rogers, and Vickery, your top 4. Cody Rogers a little bit farther back. Him and Josh Cruz showing up right now in 5th and 6th. And then you got to go to that big group with Michael Guest that have pit. They are currently in 7th, and I would assume, Baker, that group can make it the rest of the way.
This has been a little bit better of a race than I was expecting. I'm excited to see the strategy play out. 2 big teams going at it, 6v6 basically. Doing a great job here, running 2x2, but they aren't the leaders, and they aren't going to catch them either. They know they got a pit, but they're going to just sit here and run it out as long as they can. Hope they kill each other with these big, with these 2 big teams.
Wyatt Gray here in the 7th position. Kyler Wynn behind him. Here's Guest and Maines here in the top. As this is our big pack here as they come back to the start-finish line again. 25 laps to go. Your leaders entering turn number 3. That's Nash Brambilla. On a complete different strategy here tonight. Got one car going a lap down. They're going to stay up here to the wall. That's the number
Jones.
30, yep, of Jones. And here comes those leaders right now into the trial. Let's look at those speeds. Brambilla right now, last lap speed of a 48.38, but that group with Kyler Wynn and company, Wyatt Gray, a 47.56. So almost a second faster in that pack at the moment. So they're definitely going to be losing some time. Riding here with this pack of Wyatt Gray. He was put on a masterclass effort here tonight, and if he can keep 4 Goodyear tires on this pavement, should be a good finish for him tonight. Kyler Wynn, another savvy veteran right behind Gray, is Malik Gray now in the picture. Jackson Byes, he's been glued to that bumper the one all night long, and for Malik Gray, that's a good sight as Guest now works the bottom with John Ward.
Oh, you know, I think I learned something there. Usually pitting early is advantageous, gets the car wound up, and you can get the group together fast. But if you're in a good big group, I think staying out as long as possible, it really favors the car that stays out for a longer time.
Down the backstretch, heading to turn number 3. Most of the cars now filing up in the high line as we get some action now as Bazinez drops out of it in front of Michael Guest. So they're still getting racy in this main pack, although not the leaders at the moment. Garrett Maines, the number 1, he's going to head off to the bottom as well. Malik thinks about it, but he's a little bit too late to that move. Ethan Eckert, he wants it. He's got it. And that top lane now, Baker, they're going to come to that middle. They're going to side draft here.
I'm telling you, this front group is flying. They're sticking together and staying on the bottom. This second group has been really side drafting. They're running about the same speed, but not the same times. Wyatt Gray all the way upstairs and then has to come back down the trap. But Nash, Trevor, Mark, Dylan, Vickery doing a great job here, and they've got lap cars to help them. They can run this out as far as they want.
We have Vickery there with a 48.09 in the last lap. Wyatt Gray a 47.81. So yeah, they're not too far off. They're not that much slower here out in the lead.
And I think they're going to take short fuel too. I mean, if they don't lose too much time, they got a shot here to maybe try and retain something. But I just don't think this is going to last too long here in the second pack. Teammates, going at different teammates, it's gonna be chaos soon. John Ward's gonna be getting impatient. Daniel Falkingham, Garrett Main's gonna get impatient. They're going to the back right now, so they're gonna push for all it's worth on the bottom to try and get back up to the front.
20 laps to go. Now 2/3 of the way to the checkered flag. Lots of action in the chat tonight. And just like everyone watching, your broadcaster and race controller definitely watching with a lot of curiosity as well, and what is going to unfold here in the closing now 19 laps, as we have a lot of different agendas and outcomes we could possibly have in this race. And that track map's been up there. You see how spread out now this field is. And we could be looking at a green flag the rest of the way, as the one is right on the bumper now of that 32 of Daniel Falkingham. And these two making a run here on the bottom with Ward in tow. Trying to get a name here on that 8 car. I believe Kenny McCullough Jr. has hung around as well. That might be him up there in the 8. It is. And he's put himself near this front of this pack, and he'll have a chance tonight to win this race when it's all said and done. Eckert and Bazinez right behind him. Brambilla here, he's got some help as he's caught Jared Haynes and Evan Carlbon and Sean Corbett.
They actually let them cycle to the front. They are 2 lap cars that are trying to stay on the lead lap now. and they're going to sit here and push to help them maybe save some fuel.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nash Brambilla, I've raced with him numerous times before, and there's one thing Nash does is he's always savvy with the fuel number. He's a constant saver during cautions and even during green flag runs, and he'll pack that thing full of fuel when he can. He's always ahead of the game when it comes to that strategy, and we talked to him earlier, and he wasn't sure what he was getting himself into tonight, but man, will he take that Caesar Sportsbook and cash in tonight at Old Daytona?
Topside rolling really good right now. Wyatt Gray, Kyler Wynn, Malik Ray, Michael Guest is on the bottom. Jackson Bice, his teammate, on the top. 4 teammates rolling on the top. Going to be pretty hard to beat here as we come down to the end of it, but they're going to try as hard as they can. But Guest is going to be the one leading that inside line. Another teammate for them. You see Malik Ray side draft them back, going to kill all the run that they got.
Malik Ray's thinking about that bottom lane, but every time he does, he hesitates. He's going to stay there in that high line at the moment. Is, like I said before, Wyatt Gray just a masterclass effort here tonight. You'd like to see it pay off for that man if possible. Another guy who's ran really well of late, John Ward, hasn't had the results always to show for it. Definitely got a bunch of wins here in PGR. Looking for another one here tonight. Jackson buys in the 22. And here comes the 20 with John Ellis, who's still hovering in that top 10. And they're going to pass the 44 here of Josh Cruz, who's actually in 5th at the moment. So he lost his draft help. And he'll plummet through the field. He nearly parks it in front of John Ward. We could have had a big accident there. But Cruz is going to blend back in here. That was a close call. We'll go back to Nash Brambilla, your leader. Him and Ashroth, as well as Mark Rogers, Tyler Vickery, is your top 4. Then you got to go all the way back to Wyatt Gray, 24.08 seconds back in 5th.
Too wide in this pack that's eventually going to become the leaders as they approach a slower car that is Cody Rogers. Or too wide. Wyatt Gray going to pull to the middle, get the draft from him, going to drag the top lane all the way through, and they're going to get a big side draft on the bottom. You're going to see this top roll yet again as he gets to the back bumper. Kyler Wynn, that is, to Wyatt Gray. Bottom going to roll, even though they're going to get to Malik Ray. Can they get back up and side draft? They're going to have to come up to the middle with this slow car. This is going to really tighten things up here through the corner. And there you go. Michael Guess, he's even, but Ward, he's hot.
Yeah, John Ward, he kept about a car length there. Now he's going to come to the bumper of Guest right here at the start-finish line. Ward begins to push. Falkingham and Bazinez line up as well. Too wide here with 13 laps to go. And Bazinez doing a good job, too. A savvy move right there to keep that car behind him, I believe. John Ellis now cool, as you'll see him drift a little bit towards that middle lane on entry. He does it again here. Been doing a great job. Like I said, excuse me, keeping the 82 cool. And they'll push here on the straight. Guest is going to fall back. 12 laps to go to decide it. Is Brambilla and company not sure how much fuel these guys have left, but they're trying to make every inch work at the moment.
Sounds like there's about 6 laps left there for the first 5 cars up front, so they're going to have to pit here in the next 6 laps, and going to cede the lead to 4 teammates there up top. Will they move around, or will they just stay single file try and bring it home a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish. It'd be a big dominating race for them. They've led, well, they haven't led, but they've been the lead of the lead pack of the best drivers out here for most of this race. Oh, Daniel Falkingham loose on the bottom.
Might be 4 teammates here up front, but I think a team of Falkingham, Garrett Maines, John Ellis, and a few others, Ethan Eckert. These guys going to have something to say about this one here tonight. As I think they're just biding their time and ticking down the laps at the moment. But sooner than later, I think we'll have some strategy involved as finding some different places on this racetrack to try to make their way around this top 4, as Eckert now will cycle up to Ellis. These two are going to work as hard as they can to find a way around, with Falkingham as well, Garrett Maines. And the guy right there, Michael Guest, will have to figure out which teammates. I believe it'll be Malik Ray he'll end up working with, but he's going to go here, I believe, with Falkingham to the bottom of the racetrack. There goes the 22 buys. He was not clear, nearly gets into Falkingham. As he goes back up, and caution is out. Yellow flag is out. I believe an incident with Cody Rogers. And that'll flip everything upside down. A late caution flag with 9 laps to go. And we'll go back here to try to figure out what happens. Here comes Cruz, and here's the 11. That's Cody Rogers here. His teammate behind him, Josh Cruz, coming at a rapid speed. I'm not so sure about this one. This 2 teammates here coming together all by themselves. It looked like the 11 slowed way down, and his teammate comes in and just clips him in the left rear, puts him up to the fence, and
It wasn't teammates. That's Freddie Baznez and Josh McCullough.
Okay, I'm looking at a different incident then. I'm looking at Cody Rogers gets into it with Josh Cruz. So, obviously, race control, that's not what the caution was thrown for. So, an incident there between teammates that didn't make sense. But let's go to the replay now. It's the same lap with Baznez and McCullough. As you see the 5 there on your screen right behind McCullough. McCullough goes up to the racetrack. Plenty of room there. Baznez goes to go underneath to go with Ward. It looks like McCullough comes down. They kind of just meet there. It looks like McCullough comes off his kind of line there. And these two get into the wall. And like I said, at the same time, you had teammates of Cruz and Cody Rogers getting into it. So, couple incidents there, but Baznez, his front bumper torn off. And, man, I'll tell you what, Baker, a sight to see for Nash Brand Billa, Trevor Nashvinoff, Mark Rogers, and Tyler Vickery. They have a shot now to get back into this one under yellow.
Yeah, under yellow, they got a shot. It's going to take the green flag with 5 to go. It'll be another 5-lap shootout here in PGR. Actually, be a 6-lap shootout, but going to be pretty crazy here on the top. You're going to see the top 4 teammates try and hook up together, maybe control both lines, but I think they're all going to try to get to the top again and go 1 through 4.
Well, we get that late yellow. That definitely flips this race upside down, possibly. Brings a lot more players up to the front, and also we've seen yellows breed other yellows before, and that is what can happen tonight. But remember, a rule change within the past year, PGR only won green, white, checkered, so we can't keep racking them up and up. Just a good thing. We've seen a lot of races in the past, and with multiple green-white checkers and torn up race cars, and especially in some fuel mileage races where you have enough for a green-white checker to two, and then you end up having to come to pit lane. So I think it's been a good mix, just having the one green-white checker, as we'll take the green with 6 laps to go here next time by. Wyatt Gray, and I'll tell you what, if he goes home without the trophy tonight, which we've seen many times at this speedway where class of the field has either been wrecked or unfortunately passed on the last lap, he is definitely deserving of it tonight, but he'll have a lot of drivers here, Kyler Wynn being one of them, chasing after that victory. Ellis still here in the top 5. He's winless here, kind of be his longest winless streak in PGR. He's looking for not only a win, but just a good finish to try to get his confidence in the right direction here. You see Ethan Eckert behind him, and Jackson Bye still up here in the top 4. I want to thank everyone here again for joining us tonight, all the drivers on the track, as well as everyone watching at home. For another Thursday night Intimidator Superspeedway Series, and we'll be back here live tomorrow night as well for John Ward's Dega Pros Stars and Stripes Series. It'll be week number 3. First week winner earned the first ever stripe. Will Malik Ray and Matthew Baker up here. He's your winner last week, and see if anyone could earn their star, which would mean you'd be a multi-winner in that series. But first, we're going to find out who wins here tonight. Pace car back to pit lane, green flag back out, Gray, a big jump.
And they laid off intentionally. I mean, Wyatt Gray absolutely flying here. He's got 6 laps to get to it, and you're going to see big brake check here from Kyler Wynn to try and get Malik clear. He's going to really check up the top. Still checking up the top. Still checking up the top. He's just not going to have an option. He's going to have to go up. And there goes Wyatt Gray. Malik Gray going to the back.
A long line of cars here on the top lane. One spun. Looks like Vickery's going for a ride into the grass. And he does, as he's still into the grass right now. He'll get it woed back up here and get back on track. Green flag stays out. Wyatt Gray leads Wynn, Buys, Falkingham, and Guest. Malik Gray going to go back here to about the 12th position at the moment. And he's under attack by Corbett as well. Trevin Astronaut. Here comes Nash Brambilla. So Malik Gray, the biggest loser here on this restart. Corbett, he's going to turn himself right in front of Malik Gray. And he is going to stay underneath the apron. Will stay green here. Corbett, I'm not sure if he saw him. It slows up Malik Gray even more. Malik Gray's still trying to get in line. Can't do it. He's the only car now on the bottom of the racetrack. Corbett's still spinning out back. Jared Haynes makes a move. So does Cruz and Carl Bond. And Malik Gray finally settles in way behind the leaders.
Yeah, single file. They're not taking any run right now. They don't really have anything to go with right now. Daniel Falkingham, he's going to be the first one to probably take a peek here, but these front 3 all going to be ready to go. I mean, Michael Guest is right there as well. As soon as you see Falkingham pull to the inside, he's not going to go with that. He's going to hang him up to the top side.
We're watching some in-car cams here, going through the field at the front. Garrett Maines working hard off turn number 2, right behind Ward. Still no takers to the bottom lane. Ward right now behind Harper. And the Bojangles Ford. As Harper works on the back bumper of Eckert, he goes to the bottom. He's the first to go. Underneath Eckert, working on Michael Guest.
Just 2 to the bottom. And they're going to go all the way to the back. No one pulled out. Everyone's staying in line, not willing to fight here against the top 3 teammates and really pull out and try and go for anything. So, I mean, absolutely to the back. There goes Garrett Baines. There goes Nathan Harper.
Those two trying. Can't believe we don't have more guys going for the trophy here tonight. Wyatt Gray leads still. Kyler Wynn, Buys, Falkingham, Guest. Hasn't changed really since the restart. You'd think Ethan Eckert eventually going to make a move. Behind him, John Ward, Kenny McCullough Jr. You'd expect those two to make a move. We'll find out here with a few laps to go to get to the line. It's Ashburnoff.
4 on the bottom now. Trevor Ashburnoff as we come back to 2 to go. Who's going to go down next? You need a couple more. You're going to have to go against the 3 teammates here. You're going to have to try at least something to get back up to the front.
Looked like Ward wanted to. He doesn't. I expect Ethan Eckert to go for it. I know he does. He wants to win.
Just going to protect his cash spot. He's not going to make the move either.
We get around here. It'll be 1 to go. There goes Eckert. Knew it was coming. Perfect timing for him. Can he get the push he needs from Ashburnoff? In between turns 3 and 4. Gray still leads it. Coming to the white flag here at Daytona. Can Kyler win? Will he peek out? Will Buys peek out? Here comes Eckert on the bottom. One lap to go here at Daytona.
Will Daniel Falkingham pull to the inside? I don't think he will. Here goes Michael Guest, and what do you know? Falkingham doesn't make the move in time. He gets put to the inside by Michael Guest. Going to try and side draft here. They're going to all side draft, roll in the top 3 going to get away. Maybe top 4 going to get away. Can Falkingham get clear to the bottom? It doesn't look like he's going to. Maybe he's got a shot at it. There he is. He's clear to the bottom. Down in front of Michael Guest. Barely. Gonna push. Here comes the big side draft. Wrecking out behind. Out of turn 4.
Out of turn 4. It's all Wyatt Gray as it's been all night. Can anyone catch him? It doesn't look like it. Kyler Wynn works his back bumper. It's not going to be enough. Wyatt Gray is going to go to victory lane. The kid from Columbus, Ohio, gets it done in the Interstate Battery Monte Carlo as Wyatt Gray notches a huge win here in the PGR eSports Intimidator Superspeedway Series in one of the most dominant fashions you will see this entire year. And that'll go to the Wyatt Gray. What a race. Kyler Wynn finishes second. Jackson Buys on the podium as well. Ethan Eckert finishes in 4th. Daniel Falkingham rounds out your top 5 as Wyatt Gray across the infield here at Daytona. The fastest man tonight gets the job done. Still out here, you can just feel and see the excitement from the 18 machine. We'll get the top 3 up here momentarily. And we'll, you know what? We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Wyatt Gray gets the job done. The 18 still out there celebrating the win tonight. Bud, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what. In 2025 here in PGR Esports, we're going to close to closing out the calendar year here in about a month and a half. And I don't think we've seen a more dominant start to finish of a race all season long, maybe ever here in PGR Esports. Explain it to us what you love so much about this car track combo that you were able to just keep this at field at bay for most of the night and most of the 60 laps.
I'd say it's just the fact that team games and having all the numbers benefits you. I have to give all the thanks to my teammates, obviously, because it was so hard to get the bottom work with the side draft. So I knew since we had 3 or 4 of us up there in the top most of the time, and them sticking with me, that we were in a good position.
Well, we're looking right here at eligible drivers. Here, it looked like you had gone to victory lane twice this year already. So, third PGR win. All come here in 2025. Looking forward, I'm assuming, to that PGR championship that'll be at the Daytona International Speedway. Not on the bumpy Daytona, but in the Gen-6 car coming up at the end of December. Is that a race you have circled on your calendar this year, with probably the biggest race left on the season schedule?
Oh, 100%. I picked up 3 wins in the last 3 months or so, and I mean, I don't want it to stop. Gen 6 is always a good time. I think I'll have a good shot there.
Well, you know what? Get the big victory here tonight. Obviously, team worked very well for you. The man out of Columbus, Ohio, back to victory lane, and looking like the Ohio State Buckeyes, really dominant force to be reckoned with. Before we let you go, why anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, go Bucks, of course. And shout out Freddie, Jackson, Kyler, Malik, Merck, and Mike. I couldn't have done it without them. And shout out you guys for putting these on. You for doing the broadcasts and 42 Racing and factory setups.
We heard it from Wyatt Gray, your winner here tonight. We'll let him go and bring up your third place finisher, and that's going to be Jackson Buys. Brings it home, the number 22 in P3 tonight. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jackson, great teamwork here tonight. You get your teammate to victory lane, but you also pick up a third place finish, another podium here in PGR. But hey, you know what? We could talk all we want about tonight's finish, but there's a big race coming up on Monday night, the PGR Light Series, and we're going to bring up that information right now as well. Playoff driver championship 4, as you're going to do battle with David Flanagan, Axel Smith, Sean Ilkowitz. Tell us about the PGR Light Series and your chances of going out a champion here in season number 3, all on Monday night in Talladega in the ARCA car.
I'm going to tell you what I said on Monday. I think I got a great shot. It just comes down to if I get wrecked on the white flag or not.
Well, you know what? You had a great race tonight. No trouble up front in this one. Obviously, that one probably going to be a little bit more chaotic. What'd you like about tonight's race? I know it wasn't the most exciting racing you'll see, but a little bit old school fashion here at the old Daytona with the Gen-4 car. But, pretty safe and sound for you guys up front all night long.
To be honest with you, I didn't really like it that much, but it did kind of create some strategizing racing, and you had to just kind of sit there, and you couldn't take the runs you wanted to take. Much as like you would see older.
Well, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Shout out to all the supporters and my teammates. Worked really well together tonight, and the supporters are nice to have.
Well, we appreciate you here joining us in the booth. Go celebrate that podium finish here, and we'll see you Monday night for the big one.
See you Monday.
And we're going to bring in our runner-up finisher tonight out of Canada. It's Kyler Wynn. You got a copy. Kyler Wynn, you got a copy?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize my mic is muted. Gotcha.
Oh, all good, man. Well, hey, a big team finish here tonight. Looks like 1, 2, and 3 here on the board. Sweep the podium. And tell us about this race a little bit different car track combo than we're used to, but seems like content there riding to your teammate to the checkered flag.
Yeah, no, I definitely wanted to make a move, man. Don't get it wrong. I think I had it there in 3, or I might have had it if I went low, but that would have jeopardized me and him. That would have just allowed everybody behind us to close up and get around. I wanted to guarantee it was one of us, and if I made the move there in 3, I don't think it's a guarantee. I was hoping I would stay connected to him in 3 and 4, so that I wouldn't push him away and the air bubble would take over. But man, I tried throughout the race, it was me and Wyatt up front there for the last 30 laps. I tried multiple times to stay connected to him in 3 and 4, but it was impossible. So I knew there when entering 3 once that the race was kind of over because he was going to pull away and then you would have just had it. Big air bubble in this car. A lot of you need like 4 cars behind you pushing to just break the air bubble. So I think that's why it was we couldn't really do anything there at the end, or nobody could do anything. And the side draft was insane. There's so much side draft on the right side that the bottom just gets killed every time it tries to make something happen.
Well, nonetheless, we try to make something work, and that's all we can do here. Try to change it up, and hey, it doesn't matter. You still end up where you always end up, and that's in a payout position. And hey, that's what you're coming out here to do. But hey, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just everybody on the team: Malik, me, Wyatt, Jackson, Freddie, Garek, and Malik, who got circled back there at the end. I think I said Malik twice, but you get the idea. They make it all possible. Having friends definitely helps in these races. And when they're all good and finishing the cash a lot, and they're there at the end, they definitely make it easier. Yeah, interesting car track combo. I didn't like it. I don't think anybody did, to be honest. But I'm not going to complain too much on cash. It could have ended a lot worse.
Well, we appreciate you joining us here in the booth. I'm sure we'll see you soon. And congrats here tonight on that P2 finish.
Yeah, have a good one.
Kyler Wynn, your runner-up here tonight, as you see the final leaderboard. Wyatt Gray on top, Wynn second, Buys in third. Ethan Eckert finishes in fourth. Daniel Falkingham in fifth. John Ward finishes in sixth. Michael Guest in seventh. Trevor Ashronoff in eighth. Nathan Harper in ninth. John Ellis rounds out your top 10. In 11th, Jared Haynes, Nash Brambilla in 12th, Malik Ray in 13th. 14th, Evan Carlbon, Josh Cruz in 15th. Garrett Maines, 16th. Mark Vondell, 17th. Dylan Jones in 18th. In 19th, Mark Rogers, Tyler Vickery finishes in 20th. Sean Corbett, 21st. Kenny McCullough Jr. in 22nd. Cody Rogers, 23rd. Freddie Bazinas, 24th. Josh McCullough finishes in 25th. Matthew Patton, 26th. Dylan Basin in 27th. Brock Westermill in 28th. Tucker McClendon, 29th. And rounding out your 30 car field here tonight, Jeff Merck. Well, that'll do it here from Old Daytona. The man on your screen, none other than the man from Ohio, Wyatt Gray, who goes back to victory lane for the third time this year in the Intimidator Superspeedway Series. We'll be back at it tomorrow night in the Stars and Stripes Dega Pros. I'll be your host as well then. But for myself, Michael Triscuro, my co-host Matthew Baker, see you all tomorrow night. Good night.